Yo, 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 this is Cam. Welcome to the Nation Outside Seas of Change podcast.
And
I'm
I'm
your,
your co-host T Mac.
yes, sir. So today we have two lovely people in to talk to us about digital literacy and how it affect us coming home. I'd like them to introduce themselves. So first we have,
Hi, I'm Ceci. I'm over data and grants management at Nation Outside.
all right, we got
And I'm Jeffrey, recently returned.
Good to have both of y'all here. Good to have both of y'all here. So I'm gonna start off with my guy Jeffrey, man. I'm gonna get into your business a little bit. Tell me a little bit about just how we met and um, kind of your experience with our digital literacy class at Nation Outside.
Okay, this young lady here showed up with a few others for our digital literacy class. Asked us to join up. I didn't know what it was going to be about when I got there, but after I got there, I found out it was very interesting, and I learned a lot about it, and I enjoyed the class very much.
All right, so let me go back in reverse a little bit. So, uh, you're a returning citizen. How long did you spend incarcerated?
39 and a half years.
Damn. And how long has it been since you've been released?
December 29th of last year.
So you've been out about a year and a half now?
No, about 6 months.
About 6 months. Okay. And what year did you uh, become incarcerated?
1986.
so they had to
1986.
block cell phones when you went up.
The only cell phones that were out were you had a big suitcase thing that had a phone on it.
Yeah, the
side
suitcase
of it.
joints.
When I went in, it was or you can have one in your car, and I think it cost you something like $5 a minute to make a phone call.
Was there any video games in
Yes,
'86?
we had video
What
games.
kind
It
of video
was
games did they have in '86?
Atari was the biggest game out. You had to go to the store and actually had the big cabinets that you played on. Um, Game Boys had just come out not too long before, but mostly that was like little digital dots that you see running around. It's nothing compared to what they have now.
Any computers?
Computers, the newest computer they had was the Macintosh's backpack computer was the hottest thing out at that time.
But had you had any experience with computers or cell phones at the
Cell
time?
phones, no. Computers, a little bit,
Okay.
a very little bit.
And during your 39 years of incarceration, what was your experience with digital literacy or technology during incarceration?
Um, in school, they had a basic computer that you can use for reading, and then you had your tablets. They started out with a tablet that was about like that big, then they went to about that big.
What could you do on these tablets? Describe a tablet and the use of a tablet inside of Michigan
That's where
Department
your
of
music
Correction.
came from. You can listen to your music on it. You could play basic games. Um, there weren't that many games that you could play on it, and the games that were mostly interactive were probably 20 years old at the time, and this was up till last year that were just old games.
So I have a question for you, bringing you back. What was some of the biggest barriers you started to face coming home? From the simplest things to the more complex.
Uh, the simplest things were shaking hands with someone, um, just having certain conversations, boundary issues. People outside don't have boundaries that we had to live with. Uh, the day after I got out, my brother took me out and bought me a phone. And that was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with it?
So just the simple process of turning it on and learning how to do the basic operation was a barrier for you coming
Yeah,
home.
that was actually, if it wasn't for literally this lady right here, I probably still wouldn't know how to do anything other than hello, how you doing, and hang up. I mean, I think I just bugged her so much about how to actually use my phone and the different things that were going on with it. And then the other people that were helping teach the class, Rachel was actually a great help with it. She's actually got me stuck into using a Android now instead of an iPhone.
Unfortunately.
Okay, literally it is Android instead of iPhone. It was, um, she just talked about an iPhone so bad that I couldn't use one.
So Ceci, you had you played a large role in designing the digital literacy class, right?
Yes.
I know you put a lot of effort, a lot of time into it. One, can you speak to what was your thought process or the team thought process in designing the class? How did you all kind of make it specific for system impacted individuals? Kind of just what went into that process, and how did you come up with the curriculum itself?
So last year we began our what were they called? Our focus groups, kind of, where our team kind of divided up, and we had our targets that we were trying to reach with each group. And so our group was a digital literacy group. There was 4 of us in this group, and so we worked on the planning initially, what the curriculum was going to look like, where we were going to have the classes at, and there was a lot of good insight. So Kenneth was one of the people that gave really good insight on the resources that are provided internally and the type of employment readiness that they provide. And it helped us to structure something for us, for those folks coming out of incarceration, those juvenile lifers that don't really have knowledge of current technology, and framing it as the most basic, like if you know nothing, to all the way to advanced AI. So we do have 9 different courses, from Computers 101, employment readiness, financial literacy, all of that, and in between. And we're really trying to be as accessible as possible to those who need it. And so the curriculum, I did develop it, but it's still something that can be adjusted as needed. It is something that we're kind of piloting it and seeing what works best, because this is still like the introduction to this program, and we hope to have it as a staple program here at Nation Outside.
So, just a little bit more about the group. The group itself, was the group made up of system impacted or directly impacted people?
Yes. So our group was, it was Kenneth Anderson, Christine Harris. I think Simon was in our group too, and me. And so we met once a week for about 2 to 3 months and developed the plan for the program. And then I started working on making the actual presentation, making the course materials, the outline for participants, the website for our participants to access our digital literacy portal, and what was the question?
Just about the group. I'm just trying to figure out whether they system impacted
So
or not.
they definitely were system impacted, and I actually had Kenneth as our co-lead facilitator because he had a lot of really good insight and feedback on the direction our curriculum should go in.
Okay. I just want to go back to you, Jeffrey, just I want to ask, how, since taking that class, taking the digital literacy class, how far you felt you benefited from it if you haven't taken it?
The class has helped me navigate a lot, dealing with computers and how to fill out an application online, how to avoid scams, and how to avoid falling into different pit traps that come up, and if they come up, how to deal with it. Um, I was an app, a sports app that I just, you click on, say what it was because something came up. Robbed me of $365 a few weeks ago, and through my Cash App. And luckily, that I learned how to spot it as soon as it came up, and then what to do with it. By what I learned in the class, I was able to get my money back, but it was able to. I know how to block them immediately because I learned how to do that in the class. Then I learned how to go online to Cash App and immediately ask them, okay, there's a problem here. I didn't do this. How can we resolve this issue? I knew how to go with Google and find this company that did this because I had their name. And if it wasn't for the class, I wouldn't know how to do any of that stuff.
What were some of the more frustrating things that you had to do as it pertains to, or didn't know how to do as it pertains to digital literacy prior to the class? And then maybe speak to some of the barriers you may still have with digital literacy, whether that's a tablet, phone, computer.
All the above on that. I even as much as I learned, I know that there are still mountains of stuff that I don't know. I have different people coming to me now asking me to help solve some problems with their phones because that they don't know, and I'm just learning. I learned how to experiment mostly safely with it to learn more about it. I got a virus in it, and somebody showed me how to, navigate to get rid of the virus without having to go and pay a fortune for another phone. It's just learning how to find stuff. Okay.
I remember when we first met, you said that every day you want to throw your phone away or throw it
Yes,
against
there
the wall.
were several.
You still feel like
I
that?
mean, it has come up, but not as much as it used to. When I first got that thing, it was there were a whole lot of days I just wanted to smash it. Okay, I literally just wanted to smash that. It was so frustrating to actually try to make phone calls, get phone calls. I didn't even know at first how to answer my phone. Okay, I was getting phone calls and I had to call people back because I didn't even know how to answer the phone. Okay, oh, you got to push this up, and instead of just answer,
Yeah, you
stuff
got to
like
slide
that.
it.
Yeah,
or
you got to
it
slide
up.
this, and now it's still there is as much as I've learned, there is so much that I still don't know. Okay, I haven't had a chance to get a laptop yet, so I know that's another hurdle to get over.
Yeah.
But I've learned that you have to get out there and try it. You have to get out there and learn it. You have to actually do the hardest thing is ask questions. Okay, if you don't know, ask somebody. I used to drive my niece crazy by, hey, Brooke, how do you do this and how do you do that? Taylor, could you help me with this? And then I'm trying to do it myself.
Yeah.
My sister fussed at me because Okay, how do I put money on my Cash App? Well, why don't you just ask me for the money? No, I don't want to ask you for the money. I want to learn how to do it myself. So next time I know how to do this. Okay. Learning how to do it yourself is the most important thing anybody can do, because if you know how to do it, you don't get caught in the pitfalls.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. What is one of the, I don't know, what's the coolest thing that happened during digital literacy class for you?
Great food, great company. Um, but I mean, the coolest place was you guys' attitude when you came in. It was like actually talking to a person instead of having someone talk at you. Um, my main teacher here would actually ask for feedback, and when you ask the question, you can get your questions answered um, nicely instead of irritatingly. Okay, it was no question was too big or too small to get an answer to. If you needed some help, you guys were also in the class that you guys would come over and, well, here's how to do this. Okay. So you were actually learning something instead of just sitting here listening to somebody drone on about something that you could have watched online. Okay. You had interaction. That was the most important part.
All right, Ceci, I just want you to give us information as far as resources and information they can look up to get in touch with us about the digital literacy program and stuff like that.
So this summer we'll be at the Ypsilanti Library every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. You can also find more information on our website, and we do have our digital literacy portal as well. Can also be found on our website. We're also active on various social media platforms, so you can follow us, like, and subscribe, and learn some more about what we're doing.
So, Ceci, tell me something um, about your experience teaching or facilitating a digital literacy class. Things that came up that you maybe never considered that would come up, or things that you like, dislike. I don't know. Just tell me a little bit about your experience facilitating.
I enjoy teaching. It's something that I've naturally just been drawn through in different times in my life. And so it is really like fulfilling. It is, it makes me feel good to see that impact and to see when we would start a class, a lot of the folks would be uncertain, uneasy, and sometimes even frustrated. And then at the end of the class, everyone's smiling, everybody's happy, everybody feels like they learned something. And that really made it just everything, all of the, hardship, all of the working hard late to make all of the materials, to prepare. It made it all worth it.
Okay.
Jeffrey, can you give us one last thing before we wrap up here? Something you want to leave the listeners about the importance of digital literacy and how you benefited from it.
Keep trying, keep at it. Um, do not be afraid to ask questions. Okay? The most important thing is to ask questions, and be careful what you click on because you can click on the wrong thing and you're in so much trouble. Um, but everybody needs to actually learn more. People that are just leaving out, we never had this much information. So the information is overwhelming if you don't have somebody to help you navigate it.
I forgot something. Now that the NBA playoffs are done and the Knicks are the champions, I remember, I think because either you were such a good student or maybe because you were a lucky student, you got a chance to go to the Pistons game. Tell me about that.
That was my first time going to a Pistons game, and I enjoyed it so much.
How
That
you
was
get the
actually great.
tickets?
I got the ticket because you guys ran a raffle, and I won.
Hey.
And You actually came, picked me up, took me to the game, and we had a great time. I was happy that the class was running, but it wasn't just because I went to a basketball game, but I did enjoy that a lot.
Did we win? Did the Pistons win that game?
Pistons did win that night. They won
Okay.
that night.
All right. I thought we did.
I did get over my fear of heights. Well, not get over it, but I dealt with my fear of heights because we were.
Yeah, we was kind of high. We was kind of
Yeah.
up there. We was able to see the game and enjoy it, but we was up
It was
there.
actually, I seen more of a basketball game that went on than I knew went on because of the stuff that went on when the commercials would actually be on. So it was very entertaining. It was a very pleasant evening. One of the highlights of my spring actually, because we were there.
Yeah, we was in the building. Nation Outside, always outside. So nationoutside.org for all the information that Ceci talked about. We enjoy kicking it with you every Tuesday. We'll be back. Remember, if you or any of the fellas have any questions or need any additional support, you can always call us. I know that you will.
Yeah.
We bumped into each other quite a few times after that, and I always enjoy your company as well.
Me too. I mean, just seeing you guys and always get a smile and a kind word and any help that I need. So that was always a plus.
All right, so like I said, we're grateful for having both of you. Thank you for sharing your stories. I'm Cam. That's T Mac. We're Nation Outside Season Change Podcast.
Peace.